Hello, sweets, and welcome to the show. I am your host, Sam Merricks, and today I'm joined by the wonderful. Well, she what?
Yes, that's me.
New drag name.
New drag name, indeed. You know what I mean? I'll
uh,
take it.
it's them 3 bottles of wine in the back. I've had some already.
I know. Oh, I knew it. I knew it.
But no, welcome to my guest, the wonderful Yshee Black. How you doing, sweet?
Hello, I'm good, thank you, darling. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. That bottle of wine's kicked in.
Kicked in. Oh, it's gonna be a fun ride today.
Oh,
Tell
I've
you
only
that.
had it only takes a sip and I'm on the floor.
Lightweight.
But cheap on nights out.
There we go. I mean, silver lining. Silver lining.
Exactly. It's very handy if you're a student. But
Mhm.
today's episode we'll be discussing race and drag, and you chose this topic. And would you like to say why you chose this?
Because I'm a black drag queen.
I just knew he was gonna say that. I was just like, it's the most like obvious answer out there.
It really was. Yeah, no, I think it's fun. I think it's important. I think not many people. There's only probably about like 15 of us around the UK. Doing anything. So I think it's important to like have a chat, have fun with it, and like drag is always going to be political, but it's always going to be fun, and it's always going to be something that something that I never knew I'd be into. So it'll be interesting to discuss and talk.
Ooh, spill the tea.
Spill the tea. I don't have. I just have like a jug. This is all I've got. But we move.
I mean, whatever works, whatever works.
Whatever works. Yeah.
But no, I see you as quite one of the like most infamous people in the Birmingham drag scene.
Thank you.
No worries. So yeah, like how did you start in the Birmingham drag scene, if you mind me asking?
So my best friend Daniel Brown decided to put on an event called Second Self, which was about it's an open mic night just for some of the drags to go to the Village Inn underground and perform. And it was really just about us having a good time. No one was getting paid. Everyone was just having fun. It was on a Friday night. So the Village had drag anyway on the top floor. And it was always heaving. It was probably like Marty or Sandra or Penny. And then at the bottom floor, they'd have us. And we'd bring in our own DJ, and I would host it. And really, because I always knew how to host and perform, I didn't really know how to do drag. So my drag mother, Jenna Da Vinci, would put me into the drags. And then I'd just do that like once every 2 months, I guess, yeah. But I wasn't really like committed. It wasn't anything serious. It was just me having a laugh with my friends. And then after a whole year of that, I decided to enter a lip sync competition in London called Lip Sync 1000. And it was a good competition. There were lots of acts in there. I got to the final. One of the acts was Bimini Bombulash, icon.
Oh,
And it was her first time doing drag, 2017.
right.
And Crystal from season 1 of Drag Race, yeah, she was there. And loads of other drag icons, like Frida Slaves and Barb's, loads of really good drag artists who were really starting off. And Graham Norton was a judge. And so, yeah, so like I don't know what it was about that year, but it was great. I lost it, which was fantastic. But I had a really good time doing it. It was really fun. Graham Norton was like, you need to pull your tights up if you're doing it because they're falling down, because didn't have any undergarments on at the time. You live and you learn. But Graham did say he would like to see an hour show of me. So I went, you know what, swings and roundabouts. And then I got back to Birmingham, and they were like, well, basically the Village Inn were like, do you want your own show? And I was like, wow, I don't know how to do makeup. But I just said yes, because I was like, I can find out how to do makeup. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think they were going to give me a second opportunity. They weren't going to be like, oh, we'll wait for you. I literally had to jump there and then. And like, the rest is history, really. Like, I did the competition, and then I just worked. got to know everyone, and tried to get some of the girls down from the competition who I knew up, and vice versa, and work and stuff like that. Yeah.
It's
Wow.
crazy how like from like a
Mm,
lip sync competition to like the most, as I said,
mm,
infamous person in
I
Birmingham.
know. I know, and I didn't want to do drag. I didn't really care about drag, if that. Like, I was just like, yeah, I'll do it for our friends. Cool. But like, I always wanted to be an actor, performer, director, always wanted to do theatre. So doing drag was like not on the list. Wasn't even close to the list. Was nowhere to be found. So yeah. So I sort of fell into it.
No, that's
Yeah.
crazy to hear. Like, especially like you being in there with like such icons as like Bimini and Crystal as well. And, like
Mm,
as they
mm.
were like just starting, and then you have them appearing on Drag Race UK, and I've seen you talk to the girls on PopBuzz as well, interviewing them.
Oh yeah, yeah. I love that. That's a nice little gig that was. To be fair, nice little gig. Chatting to the queens on PopBuzz, and um, yeah, that was really good. Just came about by me just wanting to do more TV stuff,
Hmm.
and I knew Woody, because we have the same social circle of friends, and I just asked Woody, oh, I want to do some more TV stuff. Do you have anything in mind? And at the time he didn't. And then he messaged me like a year later and was like, oh, I've got this thing coming up now. Do you want to, I think you'll be good for it. And I was like, yeah, of course I will. So that's how it really started. But it did take like a year from me asking. But like I did put my feelers out there because I was very much like, I want to do more TV stuff and I want to host and stuff. So yeah, put yourself out there.
No, that's incredible. Like when I saw you on PopBuzz, I was so jealous. Just like that's such a great gig to have.
It was. It's a really good gig to have, and like we're sort of like a team now, which I
Hmm.
didn't expect. So on every call you see, so you'll just see me and the Drag Race Queen, but like behind on the Zoom call, there's like um, there's like two editors, and then there's like somebody else recording, and we're all like a team. So after the Drag Race girl goes, we like have a little chat.
Hmm.
Before they come on, we have a little chat and stuff, and we do like projects together and stuff. So it's really good. We're a nice little team, and I didn't expect to like have a team for it, but like we all like love each other, and we're all like bants and laughs and stuff. So yeah, it's fun. It's really good.
I imagine it's a load of fun.
Mm.
I was just like, oh, just the amount of like work that goes in like to the videos as well. Like I can tell
Yeah,
it's a camp all
yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah. The editing on those PopBuzz videos are amazing. Everybody loves them. I have to tell like the editor, I'm literally like, the gays love this. Like the gays are eating this up. I'm like, it's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah.
Especially that memory remix as well. Live for it.
The memory remix, honestly, because when Taste did it,
Hmm.
she just did it, and then I was like, oh yeah, we'll carry on. Do you know what I mean? Or a little bit of a laugh. But when they put it in editing, it was just really amazing. The power of editing and like having a really like funny mind, it just really works well because that remix, I had it on for days. For days. It was really good. And there are loads of stuff that happens that you don't until you see the final product, you're like, oh my gosh, this will really work. That's how you know some editors are great at their job. Um, because taking like something so little, but then expanding it, oh, brilliant.
I mean, that's what I try and do because I edit my own episodes as well. But like,
Mm.
I'm just like, looks a little bit like Wish.com did it, but we live for it.
We moved, you know what I mean? Early
but
days.
but no, like going back to like Birmingham because this is the Birmingham
Mm.
Queerporium. Um, how about the other Black Queens in Birmingham? Like, how do you like get along with them? And like, I think you did a
Mm.
Black Lives Matter gig like over the summer as well with like loads of other different Black Queens across the
Yeah,
UK.
yeah, we did. So yeah, that was really good. So in terms of Birmingham, Black Pepper, obviously, icon,
Yes.
legend, we stan, humble queen, really came into fruition during the third year of the
Yes, I remember seeing Black Pepper at the church
yeah,
winning.
yeah, church winner, yeah, and Black Pepper was great. Um, and I don't know, it's weird when we talk about like Black queer because obviously we have like Manly Mannington, um, who was going to an icon drag king, black drag king, and then we got Coco King, burlesque performer, absolutely stunning, head to toe icon, Black Pepper, and me. And really, it's one of those things where even though we're a few and far in between, I think we are very, well, there's a force about us, and like we get the job done and stuff. I do wish there was more, but Birmingham in itself isn't very arts orientated, and it, you know, is the scene is sort of like dislodged from the arts in a way. Like I always say, like there needs to be a bridge between the artists, for instance, who work in Digbeth or who work like an old rep or the rep, to the scene, because they don't seem to intermingle at all. If you know about sort of artists who work, stuff like that. And then that also filters down because everyone seems to think that just being gay is like being white, majority white, because all of the images that we're seeing is like images of white people together and images of a white gay man struggling and vice versa, or do you know what I mean? All these subliminal images, and even like on porn and like everywhere, and who's running the bars and what posters are being put up. All of these like posters are of loads of white people. You don't really see any black or dark or POC gay people around, which makes it harder for people to engage with queer roles unless you're in big cities. So even though London has loads of POC black artists, at the further up you go further up north you go, just less and less, just less and less. And I don't think that's really just because of, you know, there aren't that many black people in the city, because that's not true, but I think we don't associate with the queer culture as confidently as our white counterparts. But yeah, we did a Black Lives Matter performance in London. I didn't get to go, but I sent in my video, and that was good, and that raised a lot of money. And then we're doing a tour, a noir tour with a few of the Drag Race girls. I think like Shea Coulee, Widow Von Du, Akira, yeah,
Akira.
Yeah, Akira, and some others, and probably some others. I think Taste and Estina are on the lineup now. But yeah, so it should be fun. So there's drag kings and drag queens doing it as well, which is good, which is fun. I'm excited to do that. But yeah, I think sorry to go back to your question, like I interact well with all of them. Like I love all of them. Like there's no room for like, especially in the community, like there's no room for like disliking anyone to the point where you don't want them to succeed. I know loads of people can have different viewpoints on things, as gays do and as drag queens do. We're very dramatic, very dramatic.
I couldn't tell.
But yeah, so I don't hate anyone. I'm just sort of like plodding along. You do you. If we don't get along, I'm like, you do you, I'll do me. But yeah, no, in terms of black people, I love you, all of them. I'm rooting for everyone, gay and black.
Just everyone that's not a Tory.
Yeah, oh, listen, there we go. Listen, there we go. You said it right there.
But no, in terms of like diversity and stuff like that, like going back to your point about like the posts, stuff like that, I think I roughly touched upon that last episode with my guest, and how there's like a lack of like representation for like anyone who's not like a white twink, basically.
Yeah, it's like it is one of those things where you have to really make the people who own those bars realize. So like with like Black Lives Matter movement that happened, me and Soraya, who is Soraya, sorry, she's gonna kill me. Soraya, she is the only black female DJ in the scene, and she works really hard, and she does a great job. After the whole Black Lives Matter movement thing, we all went into like a meeting, just me, her, the organizers, my friends and stuff, to talk about how the scene should operate in a way, and or how strong pride should be, and vice versa, stuff like that, because I think it's really important for us to look at issues like that, like diversity, like are we, what are the posters that we're saying, what are they saying? What's the DJ saying if all the DJs, like the DJ saying like we won't play any R&B on a Sunday, and I'm like, and the Sunday's my night, and do you know what I mean? Like I love R&B to pieces. And the people who come also probably like that music, but like if the DJ is like, oh, we're not going to play that on Sunday just because we never play that on Sunday. Do you know? I'm like, hello, are we not going to cater to the crowd, or are we going to just stick in your own ways? Do you know what I mean? And like people behind the bars as well, like how many people of color are you employing, or who are sort of in charge, and do you know what I mean? Or because like I say you don't have to necessarily have people of color in charge. You have to have whoever is in charge understand everything and everyone's viewpoint, and to make it a more diverse role, because realistically just by saying, oh, let's put a black person in that role, that doesn't necessarily mean that black person is going to think about everything, and you're only doing that to sort of save face. Do you know what I mean? Realistically, it's better if we just put people in places who think about everything and have the capability to actually go, oh, okay, so this isn't diverse enough. How do we work better? What do we do about this? How are we showing, more femininity around the venue? What are the drag queens are we having who are, not just your typical straight drag queen? What are the drag kings doing? Do you know what I mean? We need people who are doing that in the positions of power to make everything just slide on together, because then we wouldn't have as many arguments and stuff like that. I mean, it's a lot about ego as well. Like people don't like to think that they're doing wrong, and it's harder for like the people to admit that they've been doing wrong, like, or not thinking about things that they should be. People don't like to admit stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. It's like more of a case of like, oh, let's just like put this like POC person for the sake of it, instead of like understanding like the actual context of the situation and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, things are changing, and like me and Soraya have spoke about it, and we're going to continue to speak about it. I think the lockdown sort of paused things a bit, but now things are opening up. We're definitely going back in and be like, whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah.
Very that. But yeah, like for me, like what I can see is just like it takes like a lot for like POC, like people in general, not just like drag queens, but like there's like often like a saying that I see like a strong, but it's just like, oh, like a POC queen has to work like twice as hard as a white queen to get the same recognition. Like that's something I get seen like batted around.
It sort of goes back to sort of like recognition and stuff like that. It's easy for think people for like, well, that's like a whole like culture really. If you're a white person, you've got abs in the gay community. Do you know what I mean? People are going to fawn over you, and you've literally done the bare minimum, literally nothing. You can post a picture and they will literally go wild. I call them the pick me gays. So they're like, pick me, oh my God, pick me. And I'm like, are you all okay? Like,
UK hun.
Yeah, literally UK hun. But for me, that's sort of like, that sort of behavior, sort of like I'm like, are you the person who's like saying pick me, or giving the power to like the person that they are attracted to? I feel like they don't have much confidence in themselves. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm not the type of person to give much power over to people, especially for not doing the bare minimum. Do you know what I mean? Like, you have to work for it. Cool, you got some abs and you're white. Okay. And
like, where's the personality?
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, but the thing is, like, we can all get abs. Do you know what I mean? I can get abs. You can get abs. We can all go to the gym. Cool. So what are you giving me? Nothing. So I think it's more a confident thing. But like with Black Queens, I think it's not even like even working harder. It's just getting the opportunities to do things and getting the opportunities, because I only work one night a week at the village. And like that Sunday is my day. That's the only day that I have. But for the work that I put in and the work that I do and the networking and stuff, you'd think I'd be working in Birmingham all the time. You'd think I'd be, and it's because I'm doing other events and it's because I'm doing loads of different art things that are outside of the scene, is how my name is like circulating. So I don't know if that's working twice as hard, but I mean, I don't know. Some queens at the village get 4 or 5 nights a week, or split across the Gale, and they don't even need to look at the art. They don't know any of the arts stuff outside of the scene. Do you know what I mean? So maybe that is true. But then again, talent and stuff like that, because like I'm not a singing queen. I lip sync. So maybe if I could sing, they'd give me a Thursday. But I don't know, but you'll never hear me sing anyway. So we'll never have that one answered.
I mean, I think I've heard you done karaoke before at Missing, and I think it's fair to say.
I'm fair to say that I should keep on lip syncing. Yeah, that I should keep on lip syncing.
Yeah, stick to your day job.
Exactly. Yeah, literally the day job.
But no, in terms of like the Birmingham like gay village itself, like what are your like favorite parts and aspects of that, and like how safe do you feel like in that area?
Well, in terms of like doing drag.
Yeah, in like drag in general as a person.
Perfectly fine, to be fair. Like the thing is, because I grew up in like the theatre, I grew up performing, and I grew up in the arts. I've always been comfortable either on stage. I've been comfortable in costumes. I've been comfortable really performing to crowds. There's nothing that I haven't done that's ever like, so being in drag really, it's like being on stage. You just pop on a costume in a theatre, you learn your lines, you get your roles together, you make sure you've got this and that, and then you just go on and you do it. You do it for however long it is, and then you go back off stage, take off your wigs, take off. So like I'm like really comfortable. I know loads of drag queens, and especially some in Brum, like use it as an armor, and it's like to bring their like personality forth. But that was never really the case for me. I was sort of like, I was always this over the top and dramatic. Yeah, always. So it's easy for me to slip in. Yeah.
It's like even now, like you're like just as like charismatic as like I've seen you in drag. It's incredible.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so it's just whether I think that people have said there is a turning point. I think I get a bit more professional in a way when when it's all on. It doesn't change that much, but like there's just a little bit of a leap from I'm like, oh, okay, now I'm on, and I'm in drag, and I've got like things to host, and I've got lip sync to do, and I've got to make sure the night's running smoothly, and make sure we're all spending money at the bar, and and I've got points to hit. I think that's probably what changed. I get a little bit more focused, but you wouldn't think I'm focused because I'm acting a fool all the time. But I've got everything under control. Yeah, that's the art of it. See, I make you think that I don't know what I'm doing, when actually everything's under control.
Exactly, like you feel like tambourine and everything, like it's all in control.
Yeah. all the control, babes. You know what I mean? I know what I'm doing, but I make it look like I don't. All that thinking, all up here, babes.
Big brain energy.
Literally. It's one of those things, I think, like with drag and with art, it's always going to be a bit subjective, and loads of people are always going to have opinions on it. I think with Brum Drag, we're such a small, tight-knit community, that it's great because we came up together. I think like most scenes, different places, like there's always an older, and then the younger ones sort of like just start pedaling through, and they're all on different levels. But with us, we're like those older ones, and then we all literally came up together. And now there's newer queens coming up, and it's weird to see because they're looking at us like, oh, you got all the gigs and you are hosting your own events and stuff like that. What they weren't there for is when we were doing it for free, when nobody was giving us any of the gigs, when we were doing it for second self at the bottom of the village, you know, for a bottle of vodka. We were literally running amok. And so when we were doing it for free, no one was there for it. But it's weird that the little ones, not the little ones, but like the younger queens are trying to, I don't know, that it's like, if I don't have a gig, then I'm not a good drag queen. And that's not the case. That's not the case. You have to go through the motions. You have to be a bastard. You have to run around. You have to do the most. You have to have, you know, your wig caught in a taxi or your heel, you know, left in the club. Like, you have to. And like, with the generation of drag and stuff, I know a lot of people are doing drag starting younger. And obviously they can't go to clubs and stuff, and that's a whole other like generational thing. I can only talk from my experience of leaving many wigs in many taxis and losing many heels. But yeah, it's good that Drag Race has sort of popularized it in a way, but it's also like, that's not the only aim of drag. Drag is to entertain, much like any art form. You do it, you work on it, you put it to an audience, you get feedback, hopefully you can do it again, do some more work. I think it's one of those things where drag will always be around, as long as theatre's around, as long as arts are around. We've managed to be closed in lockdown for so long, and I've managed to somehow thrive. Don't ask me how, but I managed to somehow thrive. And other people have as well. And so it is possible. So I think now things are starting to open up. We just got to go out and get it. Like, I'm like preparing myself. I'm thinking about the church lip sync competition season 4, and I want to do big things with that, even bigger than last year, because I had a really strong panel for 2020. I was meant to do. I think I had Joe Lycett, Juno, Birch, Astina, and Ginny. I still want them, but I'll just have to see what can happen. Tinker some stuff around. But that was, again, a really strong lineup of judges for the finale. And I sort of want the competition to be as big as that, and maybe go nationwide, and maybe I could do heats every different cities, and then everyone comes back into Birmingham. Because really at the core of it, I want people to have a really good night in Birmingham, have a really good night at the Gale, and see what I see, you know what I mean, weekly, that like it pops off, the talent is amazing, the venues are great, the community's brilliant. That's really the aim for me, is to show these people that Birmingham's great. And like, I feel like I'm probably one of the only people who can do it to that scale, because I have like a background in theatre and performance, and like I've been taught to hustle and network since like I was 8, you know what I mean? And like, well, when I went to college, I was probably like 16. But yeah, they tell you in drama stuff, like, you're gonna have to network. You don't know who you're standing next to. You have to, you know, go to auditions. You have to make friends. You have to do this and that. So yeah, I'm just open to it. It'll be fun. Big things coming.
Hustling for a bottle of vodka to hustling Joe Lycett to be on the panel. It can only go up from here.
There we go. There we go. And that's the tea. It can happen.
Oh, let me get a mug.
There's the tea. Thank you. If it can happen to me, it can happen to you. And there we go.
It definitely applies in like all walks of life. Just hustle. Get what you can get.
It's true.
Seize every opportunity.
Absolutely. It's like, that's the thing. Like, loads of people they wonder, oh, why am I not doing this or this and that? I used to get in my head a lot, because I used to think, oh, I'm doing a bit better than other queens in the city who actually have good makeup skills, who are really talented. But because they're not utilizing what it is to go out, to network, to message people, to message events, to really like solidify it, then you're not going to do anything. Do you know what I mean? I had to message Woody, asking to do this TV stuff, and saying, if you need a drag queen, because I'm trying to break out and do different things. And then a year later, it's happened. Well, people are only seeing like, oh, you got this PopBuzz interview. I'm like, yo, yeah, well, I have to wait a year. I didn't know anything was getting back. I didn't know how to do anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, I didn't know what was happening. I was just trying to email people, email venues, make connections, work. Like, I have no fear when it comes to people. Like, I'm just like, I'm going to email them. Well, the worst they can say is no. And then, okay, cool. Then we move on. And I'm like, okay, cool. Right. Thank you very much for your time. It's been lovely. Next. But like, that's the only way you're going to succeed in the arts. And I think people don't know about the arts, especially in Birmingham. It's hard to get that across, that like being a drag queen is an art form. Like an actor, you're not going to make any headway if you don't go to auditions and audition for roles. Do you know what I mean? You can't just stay in community theatre your whole life if you've got dreams of wanting to be in Hollywood. Ooh, that was a good one. That was. That was a good one. Ooh, bitch. Wow. That's not dissing community theatre. I love community theatre. I think it's great, and it's a great place to start and to hone your skills and to do stuff, or even go back when you're a bit older and really help the community. I love community theatre. I'm just saying.
I think you covered yourself after saying that, don't you worry.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I don't want the community theatre to come after me. I know they will.
But no, especially applies in like, I think in like all aspects of like the art industry and entertainment. Like me, like wanting to be a presenter, like I have to like build some sort of portfolio. Hence why I'm doing this podcast and like just like little gigs and stuff, like to get seen and like get out there.
Yeah, definitely. I think you have to build a portfolio, and you have to sort of do it, because you can only start. You can only you're only as good as like, you're not as only as good as your last one, but like make sure you have a good CV of work. And sometimes it gets to the point like you don't even know you're doing it. Like I take anything I can get, and sometimes I'm just like, yeah, I'll write it down. Yeah, it'll be good. Even though I know it probably won't be good, I can say that I've done it and I've got experience in it, and it's transferable skills and stuff like that. Like I was hosting a TED Talk. I was hosting a TED Talk. Yeah.
I remember this.
First drag queen to host a TED Talk, because I don't know any other drag queens to host a TED Talk ever in the history of TED. I Googled it, and I Googled it a lot. And there have been drag queens who have done TED Talks, but no one to actually host the entire event from start to finish. And that was great for me, because not only was it me working, I was thinking, I've never worked with sort of like cameras where we have to like look at one camera there, we get a wide shot there, on the back here we've got the walls and this, that and the other. I've never worked in that environment, so it was really good and really great skills for me to work on camera work and camera work in drag, so I can be like, oh, okay, now I've got another skill, so now I can do this now I can do that now. And I got that through me just being in contact with people in the arts. And again, it's one of those things where I'm lucky to have that, and I'm really proud that I've had that, and they know to look to me. But it's maybe because they don't know many other drag performers coming out of the scene into the arts world. And as me being the only one, it's like, oh, because I'm putting myself forward because I don't have any competition. And I suppose that's good for me, you know what I mean? But also, for the scene as a whole, and for Birmingham as a whole that I love, I want them to be there as well. Do you know what I mean? I want them to come out to the arts and do different things and do this and do that and like flourish as well. Because all the stuff that you do to build up a portfolio is all the stuff that people look for in big paying jobs. Do you know what I mean? And those skills, I'm like, people look out here creating events, making their own posters, creating their own outfits, creating their own mixes, selling tickets, putting bums on seats. All of that is like creative producing, doing, all the producing and filing and money and all of this stuff, and events and entertainment, and all of those skills needed to really hold the industry up. And the girls don't even know they're doing it. The girls don't even know that the girls don't even know the power that they have by literally putting on their own events in the little bar in the Fox. They don't even know that the fact that those skills that they've got could earn them big money.
Mm.
And it's a shame, and I think that's Birmingham's issue. I'm just somehow like really lucky to know that I come from an arts background, and I can see both sides of the coin.
Right.
Yeah, so it's very that. But hopefully it is changing. And I've come in to talk to loads of people. So hopefully the scene and the drag scene and the artists can all like mix and match and come together and go to different events and stuff like that. Yeah, hopefully.
No, we're definitely seeing loads of like amazing people like yourself coming from like Birmingham and like being stars on the rise. If you
yes, tagline. Thank you, copyright. And yeah, definitely. It's only the beginning. I'm excited. Ooh.
I bet you are. But I have to ask, I'm sure people will be curious. Are we going to see Yshee Black on season 4 Drag Race, maybe?
I can't say anything. No, I don't know, to be fair. I understand. I love Drag Race, and it'd be really meta, because I started watching Drag Race in season 4 with Latrice Royale, and was giving me the everything. I was hooked on season 4, episode 1, 30 seconds in. I think I remember the quote. I think like who was it that came in? What's her name? Who did the really good? Do you know the Natalie Cole lip sync? And she walked in going, "Bonjour, ladies."
Dita Ritz,
yeah, right. So Dita Ritz walked in, and I was like, "Oh, okay, cute." And then they cut to like LaShawn Beyond going, "That wig girl was a mess," and I was cracking, and I went, "I love this show." And that had me sold. And then Latrice coming in, giving me all the stones and painting and everything I was living. So yeah, it would be really meta if I got onto season 4 and I started loving drag on season 4. That'd be meta.
That'd be such like a full circle moment as well.
It would be really full circle. It would be hilarious. I don't know what I'd do. I don't know what I'd do.
Because you've been sent home first.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's been fun. I'll see you all later. Good luck, girls.
Just do a Ginny Lemon and walk off if you're not happy.
Yeah, just walk off. Yeah. Oh God, yeah, I can't. I've probably been blacklisted. You know what I mean? Ginny Lemon, they've been friends together. No, thank you. That would never walk off. But very that. But who knows? The future. Who knows? I think I'm not trying to work on my drag so I can just get on Drag Race. I'm trying to work on my drag so it's sustainable for me, and I can work through it, and I can move to London if I want to move to London and work there, and have a career as a freelance artist and do loads of gigs and stuff. So yeah, I think Drag Race is fun. I just think I've got to think wider than that, because when sometimes when you want something and then it just never happens, and they tell you just don't think about it and then just go for something. So yeah. So yeah, we'll see what the future holds. Who knew I'd be doing all this in lockdown? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who
knows? I'm sure it's not gonna be the last time we see of you.
Oh, absolutely not. You can't get rid of me. Oh, you can't get rid of me. No way.
Like a rash.
Absolutely. The big ones too. Do you know what I mean?
Might have to go to the clinic for them ones.
Oh yeah, you will. You'll be a regular, I'm sure.
I don't even think Sudocrem could fix that.
And not even the big tubs. Not even the big tubs.
Not even the big tubs. But yeah, I think that's all that we've got time for, unfortunately. But I know.
No, thank you for having me.
No worries. Is there anything that you'd like to plug? Promotion opportunity?
No, you can sort of find me at Yshee Black, YSHEE Black, on Instagram, Twitter. If you want to look at my PopBuzz interviews, you can do. Just type in PopBuzz, and the yearbooks are there. But yeah, I'll be around. I'm on social media all the time, doing the most with the least. So yeah, hit me up.
And on a street corner near you.
Exactly, on the street corner near me. You DM me for those information. I don't give that out online.
And your service fees.
Exactly. Always come with a fee. Where
Gotta get
there's a
some
fee,
coin.
there's me. Yeah, absolutely.
Where there's a
Absolutely.
fee, there's me. I love it. I love it. But no, thank you so much for joining me, Yshee.
Thank you.
No worries. And I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys take care. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, babes.